Hey there, this is Superb Text, a native code text editor built from the ground up for high performance and productivity. It's been a pet project of mine for over a year and a half now, and over the past few days I've been giving indentation and whitespace a spot of polish. So I open up a file here. You can start seeing we have some indentation in this file. Now Superb Text has had indentation guides of a form for quite some time now. If I come over here and pull up the screenshot from quite a while ago. The screenshot also shows off some LSP features with some autocomplete and some editor diagnostics. But we can see we have some indentation guides here. Now the problem with these was that this, first of all, this is not very attractive looking. But more importantly, this was kind of a lie because it was specifically only implemented for tab indentation, which for me is fine. I use tab indentation. But this was very much a stopgap feature. And it wasn't only indentation. Anywhere there was a tab, you'd get this line, and at the end of a sequence of tabs, you get this line. And that was that. So it was fine for stuff like this, but as Superb Text moves more and more towards being useful, that wasn't really cutting it. So here we have a file. This is tab-based indentation. And you notice it looks quite different. This looks quite different. First of all, there's Indent Guides on the left of the indentation. If I indent this further, you can see the Indent Guides are on. I'm showing off some other fancy features at this point that wasn't intending to, but we'll get there. The Indent Guides are now on the left, which is how VS Code does it. For tab-based indentation, this is not ever a problem. You don't ever have to worry about that, right? Because it's just number of tabs. You just see the horizontal line. For spaces, which we're going to get to spaces in a moment, it does matter more. So I'm going to look more into thinking about, should it be on the right? The problem there is you end up with it being a weird line against text and just looks wrong. But anyway, so we have this tab here, and things work correctly. And if you notice, we're also painting spaces. Ooh. Now, if you look here, there's a space here, but there's no space visible there. But if there's multiple spaces there, ooh, boom, now you can see multiple spaces. We have white space rendering, so if there's spaces at the end, if there's any sort of white space at the end of a file, at the end of a line, it will highlight that as trailing white space. And if there's ever more than one space in a row, it will paint a dot for each space. And if there's a space at the beginning of a line, even if there's only one, it'll paint it. And if there's a space at the end of a line, even if there's only one, it'll paint it. And of course, then you also get your trailing white space. So this is all well and good. And we got tab indentation. But let's see how this handles with space indentation, because I don't personally use space indentation apart from when I contribute to open source projects that use space indentation. So let's go open up one of those projects that I contribute to and see how that looks. So here's a file in a project I contribute to. In fact, this is the GUI library that I'm loosely building Superb Text on top of. This is the scroll widget. And you can see here, we got space indentation, we got indent guards, and you can see here we have this line is indented twice, is indented twofold, and you can see we have that indent guard there. And we have these spaces. Now, space indentation is a bit of a tricky thing. It's really, really messy. I really don't like space indentation. It is such a mess. And when you're writing an editor that wants to try to hide as much of that mess as possible, you have to handle as much of that mess as possible. And it's not very fun. I really don't like space indentation. But you gotta have to support it. And I do want to take this moment to mention, now that we have a tab indented file on the left and a space indented file on the right, that the tab indentation is currently wider than it's supposed to be. That is an upstream issue, which I have a PR that's currently in flight, but is waiting on someone to implement it for Mac, because I don't have access to Mac hardware or Mac OS. It's a whole mess because Mac. Anyway, I implemented it for Windows and Linux, and it's just sitting there. So that's a problem that I can solve easily at some point. I need to cargo patch it in so I can just use it, but that's a known issue. So we got these spaces, right? And the problem with spaces is that this is not one character. That's 4 characters. Which doesn't seem like a problem until you're like, oh, I want to backspace an indentation level. Well, you can do that. Superb Text supports that now. Boop. Boop, boop. Yeah, it just works. And what's cool is that this detects space indentation level. So if I open up, I have 3 files in the project file right now. We have spaces 2, spaces 4, and spaces 5. So we open up spaces 4. We open it up. It's entirely broken because I was testing something else. Hold on. I can't type. There we go. Okay, so this file is indented with too many spaces. Okay. I was using this file to test stuff. I'm expecting this to break. Okay, so this file is indented with 4 spaces. And if I hit enter, if I create a new line below this line, we get 4 spaces. If I try to add an indentation level, we get another 4 spaces. All's well and dandy. Everything's good. But if we open up spaces 5, ooh, this file has 5 space indentation. That's okay. Superb Text detects that. Boop, we got 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 spaces. Add another indentation level. We get another 5 spaces. Woo! Let's open up spaces 2. This file is 2 space indentation. That's okay. We support it. We detect it. That file I was opening them earlier. I was testing stuff around, testing with Whitespace, and I had the wrong number of spaces on them. And that, as a result, Superb Text detected the wrong space count, and that's what was causing those issues. Superb Text finds the top 5 number of leading space counts, and then finds the greatest common denominator for those and uses that as the indentation level, or also it uses 0 indentation level, which I need to think more about, but that's how it is for now. So that means that it just detects how many spaces you decide to use for indentation in that file. So if you only have one indented line, like, things start to get a little bit questionable, but there's only so much you can do. So we got space indentation, we got detection, but we also have auto-indentation. You've been noticing I've been creating new lines, and we've been getting the correct indentation level. It just works. We can say for boo-doo-doo, we get the correct indentation level. Like, it works. So how's that? Well, Superb Text now supports a handy-dandy, really fancy auto-indentation feature. So if we come over here and let's say I want to unindent all of this. And also notice I'm able to delete a full indentation level of spaces with the delete key, which is something VS Code does not support. And if I select all this text and I hit tab, it indents it. That's it. It just indents it. It works. I can indent it again. Yeah, that's it. It just works. It works. Oh, we want this to have multiple arguments split over multiple lines. That's okay. We can support that. That's not a problem. And notice here I'm using spaces. If I come over here back to this is a bug. The caption hasn't updated when I switched files. Anyway, we come over here to a tab indented file, right? And we have indentation support. And I can say fn do something. Oh, and we have brace expansion as well. So you notice there, I'm in the middle of 2 braces. Hit enter. Boom! I got indentation correctly. That supports arbitrarily depth. So if I say for thing in 0.10, boop, that works. And what's cool, this also works with multiple carets, because Superb Text supports multiple carets, and this is a major pain in the ass to implement, but it's here. This works for like any sort of thing like this. And also, if you notice, I type an open paren, I get a closed paren. I type a open brace, I get a closed brace. Everything works. I type an open quote, I get a closed quote. And here is my string. Yada, yada, yada. All's good and well. And I can actually come back in here and I can remove. I'm hitting the wrong key. I can remove an indentation, re-indent that. And I can come in through here, and anytime I hit tab, it indents correctly. If I want to add an indentation level manually, I can hit shift tab. If I come over here to space, shift tab, insert spaces. It all just fucking works. It just works. And yeah, it works. This has been a lot of work. If I have like another line here, stuff like this, right, and I do this, and I pull that and I indent that, it indents, but it doesn't try to add indentation on blank lines. Yeah, things work. Things work as you expect. I can come to the end, I can hit enter, and I get that, or I can be in the middle, and I can hit Control Enter, insert a new line below, and it works. I can do that, and that works. Like things. Oh, also I can do that, and then I can keep going enter, and it removes the space, the indentation there. And I can remove that, and I can be like, oh yeah, I want to type something here. Okay, here now I'm at the correct indentation level. Print line, hello, and it works. It freaking works. Like things work as they're supposed to, which is really cool, because it hasn't worked like that for a while, for a long time, and it just hasn't supported that. Now it does. So yeah, indentation's a major pain in the butt. There are things that this doesn't handle quite perfectly. Okay, if we open up a Python file, here's a Python file. This one has really basic syntax highlighting, so bear with me. But indentation works here correctly as well. Boom. So like if I go here, that's a bug I might have to fix later. This is entirely all brand new, so I've been expecting things to break. So if I hit here and I hit tab, nothing. Here, hit tab, I indent correctly. Continue, hit tab, I'm at the correct indentation level already. It detects this colon the same way it would detect an open brace. Which is awesome, because also like I can open up my note. Oh, I just crashed. Okay, that's because I opened a binary file. If I open up my notes uses that, right? So like my to-do, so like that works. But the problem, this is a slight problem. If I say like, oh, I want to type something down here. Oh no, I'm doing this. But then if I type print, right, and then now it's at the correct indentation level. This is slightly annoying because, like, I don't write Python, so like this wouldn't bother me personally. But I know that there, like, lots of people write Python, and like, but like, there's no really like solution to this, which is why like auto-indenting software doesn't really. I mean, Python is Whitespace significant anyway, so like, you wouldn't be able to have automated indentation because the indentation is semantically relevant to begin with. So if you don't have correct, like it either parses or it doesn't. Anyway, well, parses would be the wrong term in this. I'm actually not sure where in the, because there is indentation errors in the parsing stage of Python, and then as long as you have valid indentation, then it becomes a semantic issue. Anyway, but if we go open a Rust file, say, it's a common thing with Rust format, which is the automatic code formatting tool in the Rust ecosystem. A lot of languages have this at this point. Like Go has been a really big proponent of this stuff. You got Zig, just Clang format if you're writing C or C++, though I had a lot of trouble with that piece of software. Anyway, it's fairly common if we have like some variable binding here, variable equals, and we have some really long expression and dot thing, some index dot clone, yeah, whatever. Let's say this is some really long expression, right? This is something I'm not a very big fan of, but I wish it would break it elsewhere, but it does this. Rust format likes to break it like this. But so Supertext supports that, right? Like it detects this and it goes, oh yeah, you're talking about that. But now that means this is technically supposed to be indented like that, and there's no way to detect that without semantically understanding the code, which is really annoying. But like this line is indented correctly because it's hanging off of this line, so it assumes that this line is indented correctly, and then this line is indented correctly because as a result. So like, but that means you can't do like this, because then you end up with everything hanging off the equal sign. It's really annoying. There are lots of little things like this, where things like are fine if you have an actual full parser, but then text editors just like fall over. Like, there's a lot, like C and C++ is horrible with this, especially horrible. Anyway, yeah, this stuff works. Yay. I'm getting really close to being able to use this as my daily text editor. I took a sabbatical off of working on this. I did my I did a batch at Recurse, and I worked on that Vulkan project, which I'm still working on, but I'm returning to Superb Text. It wasn't my primary goal to work on that, and I think I did like 3 or 4 commits on it during that whole 3 months. So I've been working on it as of Monday, and now it's Wednesday, and this is what I've implemented. I've done all this stuff. I was thinking for the longest time about how to like do window splits. I'm not happy with anything I thought of or looked at. Like, every program seems to handle this in a way that's like fundamentally unintuitive. Like, I was looked into like filing window managers, and they all like are either have some sort of base pattern, and then the nth window goes in this location because of the pattern, or you have it tree based, which is how I was originally going to implement it, but that has really, really, really horrible user experience. Like things just don't do what you expect them to do, and it's annoying. So I ended up having to like, I was thinking about this for like weeks before my batch, and then I thought about it here and there during my batch, and then I thought about it for like a week after my batch, and I just can't crack it right now. So I just like botched it in and just like, oh, there's always like 2 panels, and you can switch them, and that's that for now, which is like all I need for my daily use as I continue to work on other things. I'm not actively using it yet, but I'm getting really close. Like, I think like file search is like the only thing I have left to do before I can actually genuinely use it. Because technically there is search. Like, if I go mod, like we can see all of the instances of that. But there's like there's no jumping to matches and stuff like that. And there's no way to like jump to this from the keyboard. Like, you can escape back out of it. All right, so I'm up here typing stuff and I escape back out of it. But yeah, it's getting close. It's getting really close to me being able to use it. I think, apart from a few small bugs, like the caption needs to get improved, and then like search, and then I have some keybinds for like multi-caret stuff to work on. But, and then I can start using it. Like, I think file search, like find in files, like the biggest thing I'm missing right now to be able to use it. And everything else is just bugs or features that I would like to have. Yeah. Because at this point, like, I can sit down and start like genuinely writing stuff. Do thing. And, like I can write stuff. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm excited about where this is going. I'm happy about how things are turning out. A lot of the internals are still not like the best, because I'm made a few poor decisions in the back end that are not like the worst, but they're not the best either, that I'm slowly working through. But apart from that, awesome progress. Feels really good to be back at work on this. It feels really great to be getting these long time nits resolved. Like auto-indentation, trailing whitespace, and whitespace rendering have been like the biggest things for me to work on at some point. And they're done, like 3 days. Yeah. So thanks for watching. I'll see you around. Cheers.